Okay. Nick Crowley, Internet's Darkest Corners. Cinco.
Racist against rappers, they all look the same to him. They used to beg him not to egg him on Halloween. You told him holler back with the suede Pumas, dollar green. Nah, I mean, heat it up till the temperature tarball. Y'all just gawk like gargoyle.
He makes really good videos. Him and Nexpo, all those creepy dudes, love their videos. Let's go.
Cincinnati, the address. 911.
Okay, off rip. Let me go ahead and tell y'all, bro. I hate. Okay, there are so many 911 calls where the operator was just. They just didn't need to be an operator, bro. Have you ever watched those calls where, like, it sounds like somebody's dying and the operator's like, okay, calm down. Where you at? Talk to me. Nigga, I'm trying not to die. What are you telling me to calm down for? What? Like, come on, bro. Them operators be needing to get slapped. I'm telling you. All right, let's go.
It's 3:16 p.m.
Okay, like, they'll say that and the operator will be like, where? Nigga.
On April 10th, 2018.
Yeah, they always have an attitude, bro. It's like, dude, like, you think I want to be calling you? Like, oh my God, boo-hoo, you gotta answer a 911 call? Gee, it's almost like you're a 911 operator. Whoa.
A 911 operator receives a call from 16-year-old Kyle Plush, who had just experienced a freak accident. In the minutes prior to this call, Kyle had just arrived at the Seven Hill School in Cincinnati, Ohio for a tennis match. He had been driving a 2004 Honda Odyssey, a minivan that featured 3 rows of seating.
Wait, what? Kyle Plush?
Kyle had just arrived at the Seven Hill School in Cincinnati, Ohio for a tennis match. He had been driving a 2004 Honda Odyssey.
Kyle was driving? This kid was driving? He looks like he's 12.
Accident. In the minutes prior to this call, Kyle had just arrived at the Seven Hill School in Cincinnati, Ohio for a tennis match. He had been driving a 2004 Honda Odyssey, a minivan that featured 3 rows of seating, with his gear for the day's match being stored in the very back. In order to retrieve it, Kyle climbed to the back of the vehicle and reached over the 3rd row seating, extending his body as far as it could go in order to grab his equipment, when suddenly, the seat's folding mechanism was...
Oh, nah, bro. Oh, nah. Okay. This is what I love about Nick Crowley, bro. This is immediate 10 out of 10. Horrifying, bro. No way.
Engaged, causing it to collapse into its storage position, taking Kyle with it. In an instant, he was pinned and completely unable to move, as he was now trapped in the car upside down, not even being able to move his arms and hands enough to grab his cell phone. Though luckily, his phone had Siri, which he would call out to call the police.
Hello? Where are you? Hello? Where are you? I can't hear you.
While
Dude, Kyle, look, I'm not trying to sound mean or nothing, but he legitimately sounds like, it might be the quality of the call, bro, I don't know, but he legitimately sounds like a kid, like a little kid, dude.
on the phone, Kyle couldn't hear anything given how far away he was from the device, but he stated as clearly as he could that he was in dire need of help. Due to the position he was stuck in, he was already struggling to breathe, and he knew he was likely not going to survive much longer, which he made very clear to the operator.
I'm in desperate need of help. Hello? I'm gonna die here.
Less than 1 minute later,
Bro, if this operator don't get to... Dude, this operator... I feel like this operator about to piss me off, bro.
the call would cut out. In the recording, Kyle clearly portrayed to the operator where he was, that he couldn't hear her, and that his life was in danger, which prompted her to immediately send a patrol car over to the school in search of him.
Okay. Good operator. Good operator.
Though, inexplicably, she never told the officers that Kyle believed he was going to die.
Dude. No way, bro. I swear, if Kyle dies, bro, we gotta hunt down that operator and slap the mess out of her.
Not understanding how dire the situation was, the officers that pulled up to the scene didn't even bother to stop the car. Instead, they simply drove throughout the parking lot, unsure of what car was Kyle's. They didn't even bother to turn down their music or crack a window. Seemingly being more interested in the types of cars that other students were driving.
These kids drive better cars than you do.
If they were to play a video like this for a defund the police ad, that it would gain traction, bro.
As officers continued their half-hearted search, another phone call would be made to 911. It was Kyle, whose tone was now drastically different.
I probably don't have much time left to tell my mom that I love her if I die. This is not a joke.
After Kyle says his goodbyes, he tries one more time to relay what was happening, this time providing the parking lot he was in along with the exact make and model of his car.
This is not a joke. I'm trapped inside my gold Honda Odyssey van in the Southwood parking lot of Seven Hills Theft. Send officers immediately. I'm almost dead.
At this point, officers...
Bro. Dude. Alright. Let me just... Okay. This, you know what this case reminds me of? And shout out Nick Crowley, but this is reminding me so much, and it's legitimately pissing me off. Did y'all ever hear about the story of that old lady? Yeah, okay, look, literally, dude, it was this woman, and she called 911 because she was disabled, she couldn't move, nobody was in the house with her. She called 911 to report a fire had broke out in her house, and they sent the firefighters. And the firefighters saw the fire and saw that it was burning the trees behind the house and the house at the same time. So these firefighters walk around the house and clear out the trees with the water first, instead of going inside of the burning house and checking to make sure that the woman who called in 911 saying that she was inside the house, saying that she could see the fire burning above her, to make sure that she got out safely, even though she said on the 911 call herself that she could not move. These firefighters fought the fire that was happening behind the house, not inside of the house, and the woman burned alive on the phone call. It's ridiculous, bro.
Department is already on scene. I guess she was just going to contact them if they had. So you have to.
Listen, this is the woman talking to the 911 operator. The 911 operator is telling her the firefighters are there, that they're handling it right now, and the woman is saying, "I'm still inside. I'm still seeing this fire. The fire is getting bigger."
Their way into you, okay?
Okay, but they better run. Come in here.
Okay, stay on the line with me, okay?
See, if you can hear, the roof is breaking above her and the fire is spreading, and she's saying, I'm gonna die. The firefighters are there. They're just outside shooting the water at the trees behind the house.
What's your husband's name?
Okay, that's all I can play, bro. Cause she legitimately burns alive on the phone call, bro. It's ridiculous, dude. This is what this is reminding me of, and it's pissing me off to no end, bro. Like, okay, you're human. You don't gotta be perfect, but it's like, dude, when it comes to human lives, there's no room for error. You know what I'm saying?
Officers were still in the parking lot looking for him. Help was literally...
And this sounds like this is literally just incompetence, because the kid managed to tell you the make and model of the car. He told you what was happening. He said he's about to die. And somehow, some way, the mess that the cops were given was just somebody called from 911 parking lot. Just look through it real quick.
Just a few feet away. And on top of this, the operator was also able to get a ping from Kyle's phone, which gave coordinates to his exact location within just 5 to 10 feet of his vehicle. And yet, the dispatcher never passed this information along.
That's ridiculous.
As Kyle remained on the line fighting for his life, the officers on the scene would pull out of the parking lot, close their report, and carry on with their day, stating, "I don't see nobody," which I didn't imagine I would. With this line making it apparent that those involved with the case never actually believed this situation was real, and instead viewed it all as a hoax.
Bro,
Just minutes later, Kyle would go quiet, and the phone would disconnect for a final time.
I hope everybody involved gets fired, gets publicly shamed, everything, bro. Like, this is ridiculous.
It would take 6 hours for that trunk to be opened, and not by the police, but instead by Kyle's father, who had no idea that any of this had taken place, seeking out his son's vehicle only to find Kyle flipped upside down in the trunk. He had been dead for hours.
Dude, I can't even imagine, bro.
Despite the circumstances, Kyle did everything right. He remained calm, he was respectful, and he described exactly where he was and what his car looked like. And yet, the police never really bothered to take his case seriously, instead believing that this was all just a prank. And had the dispatcher simply relayed how serious the situation was, and had these officers just gotten out of their car to look more thoroughly, Kyle Plush most likely would have survived. As a result of the mishandling of Kyle's case, his parents, Jill and Ron, were awarded a $6 million settlement with the city of Cincinnati. Though even
it's just a somber victory, bro. Look at them. Like, look, they
parents,
won.
Jill and Ron, were awarded a $6 million settlement with.
See, this is a man. Look, bro. This is a man who's scarred, bro. Who's scarred emotionally. That $6 million, bro. It's not gonna bring back their kid. Like, that's ridiculous.
City of Cincinnati. Though even more importantly for the couple, they vowed to do their part to assure that mishandled 911 calls of this nature never happen again, as they've gone on to consult with various emergency call centers to tell Kyle's story, somehow taking this horrible accident and selflessly turning it into something positive for the rest of society.
Congratulations, bro. Like, for real. Like, people who do that, it shows like they could just stay home and stay bitter, but instead they decide to try to reach out and help other people not go through their situation. Good, those are good.
Today,
people.
These phone calls remain relics of a grave error made by law enforcement and a life that never should have been lost.
Exactly.
With these recordings now being forever immortalized in the internet's darkest corners.
This piece clearly shows the metamorphosis possible using computer graphics. We're going to play a game!
Is it hide and seek?
Yes, it's hide and seek.
Nick Crowley is such a good video maker, bro. I promise you, this is one of my favorite horror YouTubers. Him and Nexpo, fire. But that video pissed me off. Oh my god.
Sick and devastated.
I know I'm wearing a robe, but does it look like I have money to just gamble away? Hide and seek.
It's April 4th, 2020. A man living in Baltimore, Maryland goes live on his Facebook page announcing that tonight would be another one of his famous game nights. At this time, the COVID lockdown was in place all across the United States, and practically everyone was cooped up indoors, with little opportunity for real socialization. But for 24-year-old Ernest Wilson and his friends, this didn't stop them from having a good time.
I feel like I think I know what this video is. I feel like I know. Okay, I'm gonna let him cook. COVID was horrible, but I worked at, dude, okay, listen to this. The COVID shutdown was horrible, right? I was working at a car wash. Why is it that the car wash got labeled as a essential job? I ain't gonna lie. I wanted that COVID money. I wanted to be able to chill at the house. Do you know how jealous I was that everybody else got to chill at the house and I still had to go to work? Even through COVID, I went through work, bro. That's crazy. Oh my God, dude.
Ernest often hosted parties featuring childhood games like Monopoly and Uno, adding in his adult flair by turning them into drinking games. With one game
okay. I think I know this one. I think does it end with something to the effect of somebody getting basically beaten to death? I think that's what happened. I'm not sure.
Particular being top of mind that night. Hide and seek. The evening began with Ernest inviting his Facebook friends to the function, letting them know that this time the game night would be held at an Airbnb rather than in his home, though he never gave out the address.
Somebody ended up dying to this. I know it.
As this was a closed invitation event, which he made very clear on his page. Please don't show up.
This literally sounds like us during COVID.
With nobody I didn't personally invite if we didn't discuss it first. They're going to get left outside. Ernest took this so seriously that
he left somebody outside and they died.
At one point, he even called out one of his viewers, stating outright that they were not allowed to show up under any circumstances.
You're not invited. You're not pulling up on me. The person who just joined. If you're still watching, you're not invited.
I seen this, bro. This dude was different. Yeah, bro. I don't know, man. I wish I didn't have to work during COVID, but c'est la vie.
Because you don't fucking listen, and I'm gonna bang you in your mouth next time.
However, it was never revealed who exactly this person was, or why Ernest expressed such hostility towards them. From there, Ernest would start and stop his live stream a few different times, showing the progression of the party, which ended up with a decent turnout.
Okay, hold on now, shawty got some moves.
And by 2 a.m., with there being no signs of slowing down.
Who was Ernest? Woo.
It was time for the main event.
I didn't know Ernest had that Ernest got that rah. Ernest must have had motion.
About to play hide and seek. This was the caption for Ernest's final live stream of the night, which shows his group of friends preparing to play the game, turning off all the lights in the house before Ernest himself steps outside, assuming the role of the Seeker, beginning his countdown as the camera keeps rolling.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
This must have happened in Maryland.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I can hear y'all. 14, 15. I can see y'all. 16, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Because I'm tired of fucking counting.
There was some niggas that pulled up on him.
Ready or not, here I come.
After a long 30 seconds, it was time to find his friends, with Ernest starting his search inside the home.
Ain't nobody in this bathroom. I didn't think about it. Fuck. Oh, alright. His ass.
I'm telling you, I know this video. I know it. I just can't remember exactly how it ends. I know somebody died. That's all I know.
Until he notices something.
Next time they on y'all ass. Down here. The front door locked. Dumbass. I'm on your ass.
According to Ernest, someone was trying to get in through the front door, unaware that he had just locked it, and assuming that this was one of the people he was looking for, he took off to the backyard, believing that's where he would find them. And sure enough, he did.
1, 2, 3. Who the f is that, G? I don't know. Get your dumb ass on the other side of this gate. Who the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ernest flips the camera around, revealing a man hopping over a gate to the backyard. He had no idea who this person was, but he seemed to assume that they were likely just trying to get into the party, not really taking it too seriously, hence his joking attitude. though his attitude would soon shift drastically.
Dumbass nigga. This can't be one of my friends.
Up on the ground.
Hey, Pride! Flash it up! Hey.
In this moment, Ernest's live stream cuts off, and he would never go live again.
Yeah.
According to those at the party, this unknown man hopped the fence and brandished a gun, stating that he was there to rob the place, being followed by one other person whom the group also failed to recognize. Ernest tried his best to run, but was eventually caught in the house, where after a few minutes, and for reasons unknown, the man seen hopping the fence fired his weapon, striking Ernest twice and ending his life. The killers quickly fled the scene without harming anyone else, or seemingly with...
Yep. I told you, bro. It was some niggas pulled up, and he ended up dead. I remember that video, bro. I remembered it. Yeah.
Without even taking anything. The footage is highly disturbing, knowing that we're witnessing the final moments of a man who was just having some fun with his friends. But what makes this so much darker is that we have no idea who this person is, or why they did what they did. Even after...
I don't think they ever got caught.
After 4.5 years, Ernest Wilson's killers have yet to be identified.
That's crazy.
Detectives working on the case have theorized that this was likely a robbery gone wrong, potentially spurred on by Ernest's posting habits, as to put it bluntly, he was a drug dealer, as on his Facebook page he often showed off huge amounts of his product, including during a live stream he did on the very day of this party. And also on the same day, Ernest had made a post about how much cash he had on him, essentially putting a target on his back. Online, some have theorized that this botched robbery may have been committed by the person that entered Ernest's livestream earlier that night, which caused him to have that intense reaction.
You're not invited. You're not pulling up on me because you don't fucking listen, and I'm gonna bang you in your mouth next time.
Though to my knowledge, this person has never actually been tracked down.
Yeah, bro. That's it's a sad story. Like I said, I seen that video before. I don't remember where I saw it at, but I remember I saw that.
But by far the most common sentiment online was that Ernest's friends were involved to some capacity, as none of them were injured and none of their possessions were taken, making it clear that at the very least this crime was targeted at the host.
It easily could have been set up, bro. I don't know. Shawty in the blue looking mad suspicious.
And on top of this, remember, Ernest never shared the address for that Airbnb, at least not publicly. And yet, these people just so happened to show up to the home at the exact moments that Ernest was by himself in the dark. And perhaps most chillingly, as the robbery is unfolding, you can hear one of Ernest's friends chuckling in the background.
This can't be one of my friends.
Up on the ground.
Though as concerning
they probably thought, to be fair, they probably thought it was a joke.
as this is, it's sadly far from conclusive, and to this day it appears that Ernest's case is slowly being lost to time, leaving us for now with only questions, and one of the more disturbing live streams I've ever seen.
That's sad, bro. Yeah, I didn't know it was over 4 years old.
I bet you didn't know this. In North Gaza, after the conflict, some families are so...
Oh my goodness, bro.
And now, these messages.
Before we dive into our next case, I want to first thank today's video sponsor.
Shout out Factor, shout out Nick Crowley. Let's go.
As evidenced by the previous case and several others discussed throughout the series, live streams are often a hotbed for disturbing moments online, and when researching Ernest's final stream, I came across yet another example of just how dark things can get when the cameras go live. It happened on January 22nd, 2017, when a 14-year-old girl named Naika Venant went on Facebook Live with a caption,
I don't want to live
in the stream,
no more.
Naika discussed how difficult life had been. Throughout the years, she had been placed in and out of countless foster homes, where her treatment ranged from poor to straight up abusive, with this constant mistreatment leading her to just want it to be over already. And based on the title of the stream, it was clear what her intentions were going to be. As the livestream progressed, hundreds of people flooded into the video to see what exactly was going on, as word quickly spread that something horrible was about to happen, though
Oh nah, bro. Oh nah. She's 14.
You wouldn't know it by looking at the chat. According to many watching, those in the comments had no sympathy for the girl, as many actually mocked her, calling her names, and even commented laughing emojis. As she
Bro, I'm telling you, people would not say this to your face, though. Nobody would say this to your face. The internet does something to people to make them act bold, reckless, and stupid. You can't take things seriously from the internet. That's why I don't take a lot of things seriously, but this is messed up, bro.
desperately tried to open up, with those same commenters viewing this not as a cry for help, but as a cry for attention, outright pushing her to carry on with these intentions. And tragically, she did, all while the camera remained rolling.
Oh, nah, bro.
However, even after she followed through with this, the behavior of her chats didn't stop. Whether they assumed it was fake or just didn't care either way, the hateful barrage of insults actually got even more vile once she had obviously passed away. And this—
No, like, Facebook is actually like a hotbed for terrible, degenerate people, bro. But right now, I think Twitter is like beating Facebook, but Facebook has got horrible people there. Excuse me. Like, okay, you ever been to a gore site? Like the sites where they have like videos of people dying and stuff. If you ever go to a gore site, which I never recommend, if you ever look in the comments, bro, people are like laughing at people dying. And I promise you, none of these people would ever say this to nobody's face. They're doing it just for shock value on the internet to impress other weirdos. Like, it's sad. It's sad, bro. You're not tough. You're not impressing nobody. You don't sound cool. You're not funny. It's ridiculous, bro. Like, when people really die and you just making jokes of it and stuff, like, you're not funny. You're not funny. You're not impressing nobody. Nobody thinks you're cool. Nobody thinks you're tough. Nobody thinks people just think you're some edgy teenager with a bunch of pimples on their face and absolutely no life prospects whatsoever. That's what that is. Ridiculous.
This went past just words, as people who knew her actually began making parody videos of the girl, replicating the position she was dead in, all while her livestream continued running.
What?
It would take over an hour before police would finally be called and retrieve her body, with the stream being shut down by Facebook shortly before. It was an awful situation all around, but what I found most saddening about this was her final reason for doing what she did, as she stated simply that she just wanted to be with her real mother, who she loved so dearly. And this was something that seemed to be the plan all along, as her mother, Gina Alexis, claimed that she too desperately wanted to be reunited with her daughter. And following her daughter's highly publicized death, Gina actually came forward at a news conference to discuss the tragedy.
Why was the daughter taken away from you, though?
Her biological mother broke down while speaking about her daughter's death. She dreamed of one day being reunited permanently.
I have trusted Florida foster care people to care for my baby.
Where she blamed the entire foster care system for everything that had happened, believing that they didn't do a good enough job of keeping her daughter safe, and they failed to try and reunite her with Naika.
I'm not trying to put suspicion on the mother, but I just want to know, why was the kid like taken from you in the first place? Why was the kid in foster care? Like, what happened?
Because of the obvious emotion involved and the overall shocking nature of this case, the news report would quickly go viral, leading to widespread support for the grieving mother. However, this also caused some people to look a bit deeper into what exactly led up to this livestream, for which one piece of information was brought to light that somehow made this case even more upsetting.
What?
On the day that Naika's life came to an end, it was revealed that her mother was actually in the stream watching before and after it happened, seeing her own daughter having this mental breakdown, as well as seeing all those people in the chat mocking her, which made people feel even more sorry for Gina, as her plight was unimaginable. Though this wasn't the only revelation to come forward.
Gina, please don't tell me you was making fun of your daughter while she was having a mental breakdown, bro. Please don't tell me that.
As it was soon realized by the investigators looking into Naika's case, that Gina had not only witnessed all of these people laughing at her daughter and egging her into ending her life, but she had also joined them as well.
I'm not gonna say nothing, bro.
Hashtag ADHD games played. You sad little DCF custody.
What?
That's why you are where you're at. For this dumb shit and more, you keep crying wolf. You dead, you will get buried, life goes on after that doesn't listen to their parents, trying to be grown, seeking boys and girls' attention instead of her books.
I think she like, you know, on live stream, I think that's what she did. She hung herself on live, and the mother was in the comments making fun of her, bro.
In a live stream where one of the last things Naika ever said was that she desperately wanted to be reunited with her mother. That same mother was not only watching, but actively pushing her to follow through on her plans.
That mother deserves to get her butt, like, she just needs to get jumped, get the shit beat out of her and everything, bro. I don't care. That is ridiculous, bro. What? What do you gain from that? Like, what did you actually gain from that, bro?
Leaving this comment where she outright says that it doesn't matter if you live or die, life goes on. And it got
I hope that mother gets cooked. Gets absolutely cooked, bro.
Worse. The media also discovered that the reason Naika had been removed from her custody to begin with was because Gina had beaten her 30 plus times with a belt.
Nah, bro. Absolutely not, bro. Absolutely not. That's exactly why I said, why did the kid get removed?
When she was only 6 years old. On top of this, Gina often texted Naika saying that she wanted nothing to do with her, despite the young girl frequently reaching out and begging to be part of her life. Eventually, Gina would tell Naika's caseworker that the girl is y'all's problem, I'm done with the games. Wow. Before sending Naika middle finger emojis when all she did was ask to see her brother. And this is all amongst other things that are far more horrendous that I really don't want to get into.
She determined she was sexually abused when she told the therapist that she used to sleep in the same room as her mother's lover and that he had been watching sex movies with her mom. Oh my God, bro. Gina, I hope everything terrible happens to you in life. Like, this is ridiculous.
And yet,
child abusers get absolutely no sympathy from me whatsoever, bro. I don't care. I just don't care. I don't.
After Naika's death, Gina had the audacity to go on television in an attempt to garner sympathy for a death that she clearly contributed to, saying that all she wanted was to be the girl's mother, despite rejecting her at every turn. And honestly, this is where I thought this entire story would come to an end, until I noticed something strange when I was editing this video. Naika's Facebook page is still active.
What?
It's no longer posting anything original, but instead, the account is consistently reposting content from another page. A page run by Gina.
Dude.
After Naika's death, Gina seemingly seized control of the young girl's Facebook account, where she now posts her own content, which includes her attempting to defend the fact that she gave up on Naika.
Tell me what mother would accept a 13 going on 14-year-old in and out of detention centers, going to jail or getting arrested while in foster care.
Okay, then Jesus. Oops. Technical difficulties, bro. Technical difficulties. Sorry, y'all had to see that. My light is sitting right here on my monitor, and I accidentally knocked it off. Anyway, okay, well, if that's how it is, and it's up, and you got beef with your kid, which is weird because you're a grown woman and she's 13, but okay, why did you act like you were so heartbroken and destroyed and devastated when she died? You know, you can't play both sides of the field, girl. Like, come on now.
As well as her responding to those who blamed her for her daughter's death.
People be like, you heard the rumors going around about you? And I did. But they forgot to tell you one thing. That I don't give a fuck. Huh? What's my name? My first name is Very Much. My last name is Unbothered.
And even some...
If you didn't care, you wouldn't make a video talking about that you didn't care. Like, that's... Come on, bro. Like, if you don't care, you... Okay, whatever.
Posts where she's promoting her podcast, as it seems that after all this, Gina's actually trying to carve out some sort of career as an influencer, as she posts videos garnering sympathy for the loss of her daughter, along with giving out parenting advice.
Like,
This is like 8 passengers, bro.
There's so much stuff that parents need to do for their child that they're not motherfucking doing. They're not paying attention because they're taking the easy way out.
With all this making it even more obvious that Gina has little to no remorse for what she did.
This is crazy. Dude. Oh my god, bro. I need her to get removed off of all platforms. But next chapter, Masha.
On the 11th of June, 2009, a young man named Eugene Latta took to an urban exploration forum and wrote, in broken English, "Hello, I'd like to tell you about Odessa catacombs."
Why are you in a catacomb, bro? That never ends well for nobody.
Odessa is not far from the capital of Ukraine, Kiev. Under Odessa consists the biggest catacombs in the world. Their total length is more than 2,500 kilometers, so these catacombs are much bigger than the Paris catacombs. During World War II, a lot of citizens were hiding in the catacombs. A lot of them used to live.
Y'all ever watched that movie As Above, So Below? That was a good little horror movie. The ending was a little stupid though, I ain't gonna lie.
There for a year and more. So even today it is possible to find weapons, equipment, and even dead bodies. Every year a lot of explorers get lost and even die there.
See, that's the thing. Like, that's the thing about urban explorers and stuff. Like, I get it. I get the appeal to it. But, bro, you're not going to catch me dead in no type of place where I couldn't easily get back out. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe in an abandoned house, abandoned factory, whatever, bro. I'm not going through miles and miles of catacombs. What do I look like? Because if something go down and I need a quick escape, you know what I'm saying? I gotta go miles. No way. I'm dead. Like, come on, bro. I'm a big dude. I got like 5 minutes of stamina in me, and then I'm done. Like, come on, bro.
His post was accompanied by a series of
why would you? No, bro.
Photographs from the underground labyrinth, which stretched over 1,500 miles. Its paths winding
1,500 miles. Imagine building that. Imagine building that, bro. That's no way.
Aimlessly deep below the surface of the earth. The structure was mainly the result of limestone mining many years ago, though despite this, it was never properly mapped, and was, conversely, not often explored, essentially being a pitch-black maze to nowhere. Given that the area wasn't well known back in 2009, the post was met with amazement. Fellow urban explorers applauded the location and the photographs that Latta had taken, wanting to see even more, and since he was a native of the area,
that looks super awesome, bro. A giant hole in the ground looks super awesome. You're crazy. You're actually ridiculous. You're wild. No, dude.
Latta delivered. Thanks to all. If you want, I can add more photos. As I said earlier, a lot of people get lost and even die under Odessa. Maybe this photo will shock you. It's the dead body of a 19-year-old girl who had gotten lost in the maze. Though it's censored here, the image shows 3 young boys staring blankly at the camera as they stand behind a badly decomposed body.
That's ridiculous, bro. You said, hey, take a flick. You threw up the foes for a dead body?
Understandably, this image caused a lot of intrigue on the forum as other users began to press for more information.
Intrigue? Okay.
Sure enough, it was a story.
This was a different time. This was 2009. The internet was completely different back then, bro. So I'll give it a pass.
That Latta knew well.
3, 2, 1. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy 2005.
It was New Year's Eve, the final day of 2004, when a group of teenagers made their way down into the catacombs to begin their celebration. This wasn't super uncommon at the time, as many of the entrances to this labyrinth were very easily accessible. This one in particular just so happened to be located directly next to the public school, School 56, and
why would the entrance to a catacomb be right next to a school? And nobody... Okay.
Just been left wide open, making it the perfect place for friends to sneak a few...
And nobody...
drinks.
Nobody thought to... Okay.
The group began to grow more intoxicated. One of the girls wandered off in search of a place to relieve herself. However, she apparently took one too many turns and soon found herself completely alone.
And got lost. Oh, nah.
She cried out, but the tunnels were just too complicated. Each step she took led her more and more into obscurity. Her friends tried to find her, or maybe they didn't, we really don't know. But in their drunken state, they left the tunnels without their friend, and never went back to find her. If she did have a flashlight, it wouldn't have lasted long, and for days she likely wandered deliriously through that pitch black maze, until after what was likely at least 3 awful days, she passed away, with her body being found approximately 3 miles away from the nearest exit. And looking at one of the only attempted maps of this tunnel system,
Jesus.
She never stood a chance.
Dude, what? Oh my God.
Perhaps it was dehydration or hypothermia that killed her, but according to some, based on the photo, the corpse appears to have its skull caved in, implying that in a desperate attempt to end her anguish, she may have bashed her head against the wall until she passed away.
Jesus, dude.
Her name was Masha, and she was only 19 years old.
Wow.
3 long months later, in April of 2005, Lata and his group would stumble across the body, immediately reporting their findings to the police.
Okay, at least they reported it to the police. Okay.
Though law enforcement refused to even try and venture down
okay, I can't blame them.
There in order to retrieve her, as they knew just how dangerous and unmapped this environment was. It would take 2 long years for her body to be recovered, thanks to a friend of Lata writing a strongly worded letter to the government that included a photo of Masha's body. The story is
yeah, because if Masha and his friends were able to get in and get out, the police easily could have got in and got out. You know what I mean? Just use markers and stuff and have like a team. Like, you have a whole rescue team. You have a whole government facility backing you. You know what I'm saying? If a bunch of teenagers can go in and get out with, you know what I'm saying, the government can easily do it.
Unimaginable to be trapped in a place like this with no means of escaping. It has to be the absolute worst way to go.
That was
and because
I bet that was so terrifying, bro.
Because of the gruesome nature of this story and the photograph, it spread all throughout the online world, where it became a legendary internet mystery, as even with the added context, many were still left with pressing questions. Were Masha's friends involved in some way with her death? Had they abandoned her there on purpose? And did Lata know more than he claimed? But as it turns out, there was one far more pressing question that needed to be answered.
What's up?
In 2015, a full decade after this photo was taken, a journalist named Mike Pearl had picked up the case with the hopes of writing a Halloween article for Vice. And in his research, he made a rather unusual discovery, as according to him, Masha seemingly didn't exist. Pearl was never able to find any verifiable proof that a girl named Masha had ever gone missing in that area. He was also not able to find any death records of anyone by that name either, or even any reports of a body being pulled from the catacombs during this time frame. Something just wasn't adding up, and it got stranger from here. Sometime after the photograph began making its rounds, one of the most prominent explorers of the Odessa catacombs put out a statement on his own website in regards to Masha, which read, "Besides the original photographer, there isn't one person, civilian or law enforcement, that can confirm the story. We believe it is just a practical joke and the corpse is fake." Following this revelation,
that's ridiculous.
Pearl was able to track down Lata, who was unable to recount where the body was roughly seen, or even how to get in touch with the other people shown in this photo, none of whom had ever come forward to back his testimony, which makes the credibility of Lata and his story of Masha incredibly shaky at best.
Wow.
However, this is where the crux of the mystery stands today. When looking at these photos, one thing is apparent to me and essentially everyone else who has seen them. The corpse shown seems very real, and matches the decay of the bodies found in similar environments, with that one prominent Odessa explorer eventually deleting his statement at some point over the years, leaving the general consensus that this is in fact a real corpse. But if the story of Masha isn't true, then who is this? Well, we have no idea. It's entirely a mystery. But the reality of the situation is that bodies being found down in these catacombs isn't totally uncommon. Over the years, many explorers have gotten lost down there and suffered the exact same fate as the story of Masha.
I don't know, bro. I don't think it's worth it. You would never catch me in one of them catacombs, bro. And honestly, like, I don't know. You know, it could be like the police just were trying to cover it up because it's a blunder on their part. I don't know, bro.
But on top of this, these tunnels have also been used by murderers as a dumping ground for their victims' bodies, with either one of these scenarios being possible in this case. Though the frustrating part is that we may never actually know who this person was or how they died.
All we can do is just make educated guesses, bro.
As I and many others have doubts that this body was ever actually recovered, just simply due to lack of public information and news reports about it. And instead, the reality is that this corpse is probably still down there somewhere and has simply been lost to time, as sections of the catacombs have been known to flood and cave in, sealing them off from the outside world forever. So for
wow.
Now and potentially the rest of time, the story of Masha will remain an internet mystery.
That's crazy, because what if dude killed somebody, took the picture, and that part of the cave caved in? Like, that's like, Jesus, dude. People have done weirder things. Like, y'all remember y'all know anything about the Amazon review killer? The person who left reviews on the Amazon products he used to kill people with? Like, that's...
It's September 1985. A hunter trudges through the wooded terrain of Christie Creek, Montana, on the trail of something big. He had been hunting a large black bear and managed to land a single shot, causing the animal to take off, leaving behind a trail of blood. He followed this trail all throughout the remote region before stumbling across a shallow ditch, where he would find a body. Though not the body of the bear he had just shot, and rather...
Who is this YouTuber? The video is good. Dude, it's Nick Crowley, dude. Nick Crowley. Shout out to Nick Crowley. There you go.
The body of a woman, reduced to bone. The remains were quickly sent off for forensic analysis, though very little...
Wait, he said what?
Though not the body of the bear he had just shot, and rather, the body of a woman, reduced to bone. The remains were quickly sent off for forensic analysis, though very little could be determined other than the fact that she was a young woman, and that she had been murdered, as they found 2 bullet holes in her skull. With there being essentially no other information to go off of, a special team at the FBI started creating a composite of what this woman may have looked like.
Oh, nah, I think I know this.
This was the result.
Dude. Oh my god, that's so freaky.
This was their first attempt at depicting this Jane Doe, who they would later dub Christie Crystal Creek, though it wouldn't be their last.
Yeah. Oh.
The uncanniness of these depictions is undeniable, and recently I've fallen down this rabbit hole of disturbing police sketches and recreations.
Dude, police sketches are terrifying.
As though these can often be very helpful and do lead to legitimately good results, there are often times where they appear almost non-human, with many examples like Christie's being shared online on the FBI's website in order to enlist the public's help in identifying these victims, with one of the more notorious examples coming decades later in 2014. The discovery was made on June 5th of that year, when a group of highway workers were mowing grass in the town of Geneva, Wisconsin.
Hold on, I want to see this, bro. Like, some of these sketches, bro, like, what are we doing? What in the world is this, bro? Like, please. This is a real thing. This is a real, like, no way, bro. This is a real sketch that was made. If I seen this nigga at night, I'm shitting myself. Like, this, who is this? Like, these are freaky people, bro. Like, what in the world is this? How did this lead to this dude? Okay, that's pretty good, actually. But some of these are freaky, bro. Like, these cannot be real people. Like, look at this. Hell no. FBI composite sketches are insane. Okay, hold on. So these are the composite sketches that got people locked up. Hold up. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, these are pretty good, actually. Yeah, these are the good ones, actually. I can see how that happened. But nah, some of them composite sketches be OD.
When they noticed a pair of strange-smelling suitcases. Inside them were 2 bodies belonging to 2 women, both in various stages of decomposition, and both appearing to have been strangled to death. One would quickly be identified as 37-year-old Laura Simonson, while the other was in much worse shape. and distinguishing her facial features proved extremely difficult. But this didn't stop them from trying.
Oh, nah. No way. Who do you really think somebody was walking around looking like that? Who released that? That is ridiculous.
This is one of the more infamous examples out there due to just how unnatural it appears, with the face of this woman being turned into a meme and even being used in a
That's crazy.
video game.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't. Okay, that's kind of crazy.
But to me, there's one
I love the Gmod. I love the Gmod horror games like this.
example that I've never been able to shake, as the entire story and its recreation gives me such an uneasy feeling. The discovery was made all the way back in April of 1977, when a couple in Alberta, Canada had returned to their often abandoned cabin in order to empty the septic tank.
They need to fire these artists immediately, bro.
Only to find a body floating inside. The body was in brutal shape and showed signs of extreme torture, as the man had been beaten, mutilated, burned with cigarettes, and even shot multiple times.
Jesus.
And due to the condition of the body, it was impossible to identify him, though regardless, a recreation was made.
And this is ridiculous.
And using a computer model of the man's skull, they slowly pieced him together.
Nah, bro. That I would have cut it right there. Like, nah, bro. We about to make the Jersey Devil. No way. Septic Tank Sam. That's freaky.
He would later be dubbed Septic Tank Sam. There's something so depressing about these composites, as these are real people with real stories and real names.
If I died, bro, and I just so happen to die in a septic tank, you better not name me Septic Tank Sam. I will literally come back from the dead and haunt you, bro.
Have been reduced to these horrifying images and tacky nicknames. But there's another side of these police sketches too, as when dealing with victims, it's obviously incredibly sad. But when dealing with suspects, these off-putting identities
it gets really creepy.
Can be outright horrifying. Over the years, there's been numerous unidentified killers who law enforcement were not able to positively identify, forcing them to turn to these same methods of sketching and recreating, with one of the darkest examples being that of the Lake Bodom killer. It was June 5th, 1960. 4 Finnish teenagers were on a camping trip to Lake Bodom, sleeping peacefully in their tent on the lakeshore, when suddenly they were attacked. It happened in an instant, as a man yielding a knife began stabbing through the tent, eventually bludgeoning the group with an unidentified blunt object.
Jesus.
That night, 3 of the teens would be killed, while one managed to survive with substantial injuries. When asked about what he had seen that night, the lone survivor claimed that the man who attacked them wore all black and had large red eyes.
Large red eyes?
Based on his accounts and other potential sightings, a sketch of what this man may have looked like was made, and the results were unusual at best.
I already know it's about to look freaky. Oh, nah, bro.
With this man going on to garner the appropriate nickname of Bug Eyes McLip, due to just how
Bug Eyes McLip?
How unnatural.
Okay, what is this? Oh my god.
His facial features appear, especially his eyes. In fact, there's something unnatural about all of these recreations, which begs the question, did any of them actually work? Well, surprisingly, out of these 4 people, 3 have been identified.
What?
Christy Crystal Creek would go on to be identified as Janet Lee Lucas, a 23.
They did her so foul, bro.
Christy Crystal Creek.
Wow.
Creek would go on to be identified as Janet.
That's foul, bro. They did her dirty.
Lee Lucas, a 23-year-old who would be the last identified victim of serial killer Wayne Nance, with this identification being the result of improved forensic genealogy. The second and most notorious example,
no way they identified her,
would go on to be identified as Jenny Gomez, who had been strangled by Steven Zilich, a man dubbed the Wisconsin Suitcase Murderer. And despite this
is insane.
Recreation appearing to look nothing like Jenny, it was actually the sole reason that she was identified.
How?
As one of her family members ended up recognizing these overpronounced cheekbones and matching them to Jenny.
If y'all ever identify me using some stupid, ooh, imagine somebody identified you because the forehead on the skull was huge.
And then there was Septic Tank Sam, who was revealed to be Gordon Edwin Sanderson, thanks again to genetic genealogy, as a sample of his sister's
Okay, so the genetic genealogy is what did that, not that freaky
DNA was eventually used to prove that this was in fact him, though it's still unknown who killed him.
So Bug-Eye McLips never got discovered? That's ridiculous.
Or why. Which leaves just this final person, the killer of at least 3 people. He, unfortunately, has never been identified, and this isn't too surprising as the features of this person just seem impossible.
Unreal.
He just looks far too strange to be real. Right? Well, even though he hasn't been positively ID'd, it doesn't mean that he hasn't been potentially photographed. Shortly after the teens were murdered, a funeral was held in their remembrance, for which a large crowd of locals were in attendance, with this photo of the crowd being snapped. And standing there, in the center of it all, was a man whose features looked impossible. This man would never be photographed again, and his connection to the case has never been officially confirmed, leaving these murders unsolved to this very day.
Nah, bro. Nick, you went crazy on that video. That is horrifying. That's crazy. Yeah, shout out Nick. Gotta make sure you hit like and subscribe on them. Okay, yeah, that video alone was easily a 9 out of 10, bro. Easily.